Hello friends. This morning I was reading Job 16:19. Job 16:19 is essentially Job's testimony. In that verse he says, "Surely even now my witness is in heaven and my evidence is on high." When Job uttered these words, he was battered in his spirit and in his body. He had lost his children, his health, and his wealth. 3 friends who came to know about Job's condition came from a very distant place. They actually wanted to comfort him, but they ended up heaping misery upon misery on Job. So much so that Job had to call them miserable comforters. So malicious were their accusations that Job actually ran short of words. They had made up their minds about the cause for Job's sufferings. They said, somehow you must have sinned in secret, and that is why you have this situation upon you. You know, the more Job defended himself, the more vicious their attacks became. They acted like they were both the jury and the judge. Is that your situation? Have you been through situations like that? Have you ever felt like you were at the receiving end of your rope? Have people falsely accused you? Have people returned evil to you for the good that you did for them? Has anyone laid up trumped up charges against you? Do you feel like no one is there around to plead your cause? Remember, you're not the first person to go through this, nor will you be the last person on earth to go through such a situation. Do you remember Joseph, the dearest son of Jacob? Have you ever thought of what actually went through his mind when his own brothers took him and put him in a pit, and later he ended up in an Egyptian prison for no fault of his? Remember David, who abdicated his throne and crown and fled to a wilderness to escape death at the hands of his own son Absalom? Remember Jesus, who stood as if he was helpless in Pilate's court? When we read these things, the question that comes up in our mind is this: why do bad things happen to good people? And what do God's children do when bad things happen to them? You mean, what should their reaction be? And that's where Job comes into the picture. He says, "My witness is in heaven, and my evidence is on high." When you are in a situation like Job, like Joseph, like David, like Jesus, remember this: stop defending yourself. You don't owe any explanations to anyone about your life other than God. If you're right in God's eyes, you need not fear any man. Jesus is your defender. God is your defender. Read Psalms 7:10, 59:9, 62:2, and 94:22. These are comforting verses that say, God is your defender. He has been there and done that, so He knows your plight. He will fight for you. If you want comforting verses that God Himself is fighting for you, read through Deuteronomy, the 1st chapter, in particular the 30th verse. Also read Nehemiah 4:20 and Isaiah 31:4. In all these scriptural verses, God says He will fight for you. And when God Himself is fighting for you, when God Himself is pleading your case, He will exonerate you sooner than you think. Will you say amen to that?